across the UK. On DAB+, on your smart speaker, on your smart TV, and on your side. This is Talk.
So we're joined now by Andrew Eborn, who is a barrister. We normally call him a futurologist, but he's also a magician.
Hey.
So tell us about this lady in the Magic Circle.
It was the best trick ever. Her name is Sophie Lloyd, and the rules of the Magic Circle, it was founded in 1905, and until 1991, it was a men-only club.
Yeah.
So what happened is wonderful Sophie, together with the person she used to do a mime act with, devised a superb act where she dressed effectively looking a bit like Harry Potter. In those days, and she put gloves on so you couldn't tell her feminine hands, and she developed a bit of laryngitis so when they tried to interview her, but she fooled the Magic Circle, and so she became officially the first person who was female to become a member.
Now, when did they know?
They knew. So what happened is she confessed. They didn't discover it. She confessed when we let women in, quite rightly, in 1991. And she said, look, by the way, I passed the exam a number of months ago, and actually I'm a woman. And we've got the fantastic picture. Here we go. She's open sesame.
Did she get thrown out?
She's there. Well, she did. So what happens? They were so disgusted about it, they threw her out. And it's been a complete scandal. So last November, we started the hunt. I spoke about it on Times Radio, and the media went crazy about it. The hunt for Sophie Lloyd. And we managed to find her. And yesterday at the Magic Circle, we had a glorious... Well, we did. The vanishing lady reappeared. So yesterday at the Magic Circle, we had a very special show. Lots of people came in. Some of our greatest female members as well were performing on stage. And Sophie was there with her family and also the granddaughter of the partner she used to work with. What I also love, though, is Matt's cartoon. It went everywhere. It went viral. And we had New York Times quoted me on it as well.
Oh, what a surprise.
Well, what a surprise. The famous female member. I mean, I know, but it was all about women and empowerment.
Andrew, funnily enough, there's a trans protest tomorrow about female members.
I know. I thank you. Look at that. Well, what I like, talking of which, the Magic Circle, Matt, the glorious cartoon of Matt today, it said, this used to be about the Magic Circle. There used to be an all-male society, but then Keir Starmer said a woman could have a magic wand. I actually came with one of those as well. So there it is.
Do you know there was Pope Joan, a female pope, and she actually got through. They didn't realise, and now as part of the papal process, there's actually, when they get the new pope, which you're going to have to do, there's a special chair they sit on with a hole in it, and a hand, one of the bishop's hand, just comes up and squeezes.
Was this a demonstration just before I came on air? I saw the guy wearing the outfit.
They just made that bit up.
They check the papal plums.
Is that what they do? What I love, and without the spoiler alert for Conclave, which everybody keeps referencing, I mean, it's exactly that sort of side, and looking at sort of thing. But it was a wonderful thing, so well done, Sophie.
So just a matter of interest.
You should be very angry about it.
I should be angry.
Because you're a member of the Magic Circle. You know, that woman got through.
No, I think
he was the bloke trying to find her.
We tried to find her, and we changed, and the rules changed. It used to be, and the stupid thing, the people used to say women can't keep secrets, so that's why they wouldn't let them, and that was the argument. But we let them in, and in 1991, Debbie McGee and Faye Preston and various others.
But she's not a magician. She's the assistant. I'll tell you what.
Debbie's a brilliant magician. A brilliant magician.
No, well, she never did it.
The problem is they don't realise the role that these women play, do they?
Well, they have it, and all the men doing prancing around and stuff like that, while all the women are doing all the clever stuff.
By the way, so you're in the Magic Circle. So I don't invite you to comment, but you know, my uncle who's in the Magic Circle, he told me, he said, the main thing you have to understand about magic is it didn't happen. So he said, when you go, how did that woman teleport from one side of the studio to the other? She didn't. Right? And he said, so then you have to think about you then have to think about other things. And do you know what one of the biggest secrets in magic is?
What's that?
Twins.
No, I completely deny.
Twins.
You may possibly think
there aren't many women. I remember we had one on the show, a woman magician, Faye Presto.
Yes.
Do you know Faye Presto?
She was performing last night. She was performing last night.
You'd never know.
She was performing last night, and fabulous as always, which is always good. But interestingly, while he's googling away, interestingly, I couldn't possibly comment. Interestingly, we've got lots of women members as well. What I love, we've got the Young Magicians Club, so you can start from the age of 10 all the way to 18, and actually that's about 50-50 now. So girls.
Did you start with a magic? A lot of magicians say they got a magic kit when they were 7.
I was actually already doing comedy and presenting and that stuff.
Comedy?
I know.
Well, Tommy Cooper, of course, was originally a magician and became one of the greatest comedians ever.
Tommy Cooper was my favourite magician.
You could look like him.
I could look like him. I was very good. I thought I was there then.
You do look like, because you're quite tall.
Where'd you meet?
Where did I meet? The Magic Circle. And it's open to members. It's actually very close to Euston. It's
Is it the Water Rats Hall?
No, because that's just a little bit further away. But it's near Euston. We do shows for the public. You can go to the Magic Circle website, see those. Fantastic shows on a regular basis. But we also do stuff in the community.
But it's a secret. Is it really a secret?
Well, it's not really a secret. It's not where the location is, because we do the public shows. You can have a look at that. It's on Stevenson Way, but you can have a look on the Magic Circle website. We do lots of things. What I love about it as well, the great charity work that we do, is something called Breathe, where for kids who are not engaging, can't communicate in a sensible way, we give them a sense of purpose. And teaching kids tricks and so on and so forth, they get more dexterous, they learn to communicate with people. It's brilliant. I'll give you an example. King Charles is a member of the Magic Circle.
Yeah, I know he is.
And we have his cups and balls.
And he did a trick, didn't he?
He had to. So everybody has to effectively pass an exam.
Did he do a couple of balls?
Why hasn't he done them to us in public? He's never done it in public.
Oh, he does. He did for the Magic Circle Centenary. He did a trick for that. You can come along. Come as my guests. You're very welcome. Come as my guests. Come and see his cups and balls.
Without being funny, whilst I'm not a member of it, I'm a regular attender at the Chelsea Masonic Lodge, which is for people in the television, radio, and entertainment
I know
industry.
there are people there, absolutely. And the great thing about it, and we were talking about this earlier, and talking about this Mike Graham and the wonderful Mark Wogan, which is coming up on Grumpy Old Men, talking about magicians, coincidentally. And it's not about, there are no such things like bad tricks. What it is, you get bad magicians. And I always say that 99% of the magicians give the 1% a bad name. And the reality is there's some brilliant people, but it's not just about watch me, aren't I clever? It's all about engagement. And
Can I tell you, I participated in a magic trick.
Yes.
Were you there? When we had that party on the boat?
I was, yes.
Where the magician threw my phone away and then it appeared in his pocket.
Amazing, there you go. Always
do you know what was amazing about that? I said, how many phones do you actually lose?
No,
quite a lot.
Yeah, I remember at that party, he was doing some card trick, and he goes, what card did you think? Oh, and I said, I don't know, the 6 of hearts. And he went, look at your hand. And
Pick up the Samsung Galaxy Tab S10 FE 5G with O2 and save up to £144 from just £23 a month.
It was written on my hand.
Amazing. Well, he's also going on those boats at the moment. He's throwing away people's passports.
What's his name, that guy? Southampton guy.
He was. No, there's a lot of great people. And what I love about it, it's a unifying thing. We've got about 1,700 members.
You all hate each other, really, don't you?
No,
magicians,
anybody in this glorious profession we call show. They love each other.
I mean, what's your view on, it's one of Ash's mates, the Julius Dean type people who are now dominant on social media?
No, I think good for them. I think that anybody who's got a platform, anybody who can engage with people in a new way. And what I loved about it, very different presentations that you used to have with Paul Daniels, and before that David Nixon, and so on and so forth. And then Blaine came along and did it in that sort of grunge down
Copperfield.
This is a nasty joke, but somebody said, look, David Blaine's rubbish. He was locked in a box for 40 days, and people were impressed. Paul Daniels has been in that box for 6 years.
Steady.
But my mate went down to the box. It was a guy called Howard Lucas. It was Matt Lucas's brother, and he went to go and egg David Blaine in his box, because he's a bit like that.
Yes.
And this security guy comes up and he goes, David says you're going to throw eggs at him. So he'd read his mind while he was in the box.
Absolutely. But I'll tell you where that came from. The idea of doing these stunts publicity was actually Houdini, because he was a master media manipulator, and he would do these wonderful stunts, and basically it would get all the worldwide news as a result of it. So that's what I love.
He was Troy Deeney's grandfather.
I am quite interested in magic. But Penn and Teller, if they were sat here now, would say they don't believe you should do anything that can't be done live. What about Dynamo, that relies on a lot of editing?
No, necessarily.
I've seen it. He came in once when I was doing the sport. He's amazing.
When he flew above the Shard, you can see the wires.
No, well,
has he got a twin? Because I've seen him do that.
I haven't seen his twin. He's a very talented magician.
He's also been very ill.
He's a bit mystical, he's a bit mystical.
And it's a different presentation. And what I love about it, you get such a diverse group of people.
Darren Brown, he was great.
Darren,
he was good as well.
An unfortunate
Darren Brown.
bowel movement. yes. So Darren Brown is superb. And again, it's a different way of presenting it. And it's all about the story and the engagement.
But like Dynamo, when he's hanging on that bus, you think, it's just that metal thing.
No, it's a magic. It's when you go...
It's like that bloke, he's standing on a platform, right?
When you go to a movie, you don't suddenly say, oh, that was in a studio. Or just lose yourself in the moment. I think that's the thing about it. And the mistake...
You've got to let go a bit, man.
My favourite ever magic trick,
go on then.
And I know it's not the most technically challenging magic trick ever, but it's Martin Daniels on Penn and Teller.
Oh, he's great.
Daniels' son.
Yes, a very talented magician. And
you can get it on YouTube.
Yeah.
But I just love teleport as a thing. I just love it as a trick.
And the principle is that. And what would you do if you could do magic for real? And what I love is the people who create those stories, create those sense of wonder. And that's what we need in this world. And it's also, as I say, I talked about Breathe as the project engaging with kids. Nigel Mansell, he had a terrible accident, and to rehabilitate him, he learnt magic. And it basically, and so he's an unusual member there. Stephen Fry's a member of the Magic Circle.
Okay,
had some great people.
Okay, let me ask you this question: the cup and balls.
Yes.
Every single society in the world has had a variation of the cup and balls, and yet people still stick a fiver on it.
There you go. Why? Well, if it's too good to be true, it is. I mean, that's the reality. All these people, that's the word of warning.
Everybody knows the cup and balls are magic trick.
If it's too good to be true, then
I don't know the cupping balls magic trick was.
Well, I don't think the cupping balls.
The balls are squashable.
Well, it's not about that. It's about the sleight of hand and so on. Yeah. So when people are playing on London Bridge and other places, it's like Find the Lady. It's an old con, and this is why people are losing money. It's not just losing money when you're watching it, because you often have people who are there is scamming people as well, but you get pickpockets and so on and so forth.
That's a sort of magicians that a lot of them are pickpockets.
And there are the ways of doing that sort of stuff.
And allow me to ask a question about the morality of a good friend of our show, but who has been controversial, Uri Geller, who is a magician who claims it's real.
Yes, he does.
But I have seen him do very mystical things, and they believe it themselves.
But Uri Geller only knows 3 tricks, although he does do them quite well.
I've seen him do the remote viewing.
What I can say, the remote and fantastic, and Uri's great.
But many, sorry, just to add to this, many magicians think that it is morally wrong to claim that magic is real.
I'll tell you what happens, and this is Houdini. Again, we talked about that sort of stuff. He used to believe in the psychics, the other thing as well. And there'll be psychics out there who believe. You've had people on this show.
Yeah.
And
here's how I launch Amazon income streams without physical products. No inventory, storage, or shipping. You see, I use a brand...
Where they take money, if you do it for entertainment, that's one thing.
Yeah.
If you're taking money from people, or you're preying on their grief, which is what tends to happen. Houdini himself, his mother died, and he was told by a medium who would get a message, and so he went along to this medium who paid money and so on and so forth, and then realised it was a con. So he then spent the rest of his life exposing the medium.
But are they all con? I mean, some people maybe do. Do you believe in any sort of telepathy or medium or anything like that?
We have within the Magic Circle. So David Berglass was the president beforehand, a few years ago. Marvin is now the president this year, the first time in the history that we've got a father and son president and that sort of side. He basically was the head of the paranormal group, and so keeping an open mind. James Randi had famously American. He basically offered $1 million to anybody who could prove in psychic condition, in scientific laboratory conditions, that they have psychic powers.
But Uri Geller did it at the CIA, and I've seen it, and he did pass the remote viewing cases.
I'll tell you what we should do. This will be a challenge for anybody, because magicians can replicate a lot of what people who claim to be psychic can do. This will be a challenge. I would love to have anybody on the show.
We've got a caller who was thrown out of the Magic Circle, Hertfordshire Bob. What's happened? Tell us the story,
Hello, Hertfordshire Bob.
Hello there, guys.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm a lapsed member of the...
Why were you expelled from the Magic Circle?
No, I wasn't expelled. I was just lapsed.
We'll try and make it sound a bit better.
But I want to speak to Andrew. I mean, I think, in my view, Jerry Sadowitz, who's banned from everything, he's one of the greatest magicians.
He's hilarious, but he's a comedian. He's a great magician.
But he does get his willy out a lot on stage. Well, I've seen that. I've seen it in real life, and it's quite frightening.
He is the modern-day Tommy Cooper, as some might say.
He likes shocking, though. He's one of the best close-hand card magicians apparently in the world, but he is crazy.
Absolutely incredible.
Well, brilliant. But his timing and actually his technique is superb. And actually, Tommy Cooper was a great magician as well. It's rather like when people play the piano. In order to play it badly, you need to know how to play it well.
But apparently, it was at the time he messed up, and he realised he was getting a bigger, you know, laugh.
Getting a better laugh.
Did you ever go to there's a magic shop in London that I don't know if it's still around that he used to get his tricks from.
Yes.
Go to a shop?
Oh yeah, no, there was the magic spot, and there's Davenport. Davenport, you're quite right. Used to be underneath Charing Cross. There was the magic spot, which a brilliant
Have they all gone then? A lot of shut down.
International Magic is still there, and the guy was there.
Yeah,
okay, look, we got to. Can we just stop this discussion simply because food has arrived in reception, claiming that I ordered it? We're going to go to a break and find out.
That's magic.
I'll make a disappear.
Across the UK, on DAB+, on your smart speaker, on your smart TV, and on your side. This is Talk.
I'm Andy Walker. I'm a director of Treetops Caravan.